Hello, everyone. Before we get started today, I just want to make sure that I mention that this conversation is for educational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for individualized professional advice. So we've made it to day 3, which is C, Caregiving Made Simple. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Caregiving Made Simple, the ABCs. So today is C, and it is very important and special to me because C is the heart of my company, Two's Company Companion Care. C is for companionship. But here's the question that I want us to talk about today. When does alone become loneliness? Because there's a big difference. Someone can live alone and love it. They may enjoy their independence, their quiet, their routine, their own space. So living alone doesn't automatically mean that someone is lonely. And someone can be surrounded by people and feel completely alone and lonely. The National Institute of Aging actually distinguishes between social isolation and loneliness. Social isolation is more about not having enough regular contact. Loneliness is the distressing feeling of being alone or disconnected. And that's where the distinction matters. Because I don't want us looking at every older adult that lives alone and deciding, oh, that poor thing, they must be lonely. No, we don't do that. We ask them, how are you doing? Do you feel connected? Are you getting out as much as you'd like to? Is there anything that you miss doing? Is there anyone that you would like to see more often? That's where the conversation begins. Now, here's what matters. The CDC and National Institute of Aging recognizes social isolation and loneliness more than just emotional issues. They are associated with health concerns, including depression, cognitive decline, and other health risks. So companionship isn't simply saying, oh, wouldn't it be nice if somebody just stopped by? The connection is what matters. Let me give you 5 things to think about. Number 1, look for changes. I say this a lot in caregiving. We're not necessarily looking at an isolated incident. We're looking for changes. Did mom used to go to church every Sunday and now she doesn't? Did dad used to meet his friends for breakfast or go and play golf? Has your loved one stopped answering the phone? Stopped going outside? Maybe they've even stopped driving. Maybe their spouse has passed away. Maybe their closest friend has moved away. Or maybe they've lost all their friends. Maybe mobility has become more difficult. Their world can change gradually, become smaller without even realizing it. Does mom live alone? Ask, how connected is mom to other people? Number 2, pay attention to the little comments. Sometimes people don't come right out and say, I'm lonely. Listen for things like, nobody comes around anymore. Everybody's always busy. I don't have anywhere to go. I haven't seen so-and-so in months. Or maybe every time you call, they don't want to get off the phone. Don't dismiss those little things. They may be telling you something. Number 3, companionship doesn't have to be complicated. This is one of my favorite parts. Companionship doesn't require some huge activity. Having coffee, taking a walk, going to the grocery store, sitting outside, listening to music, playing cards, watching a favorite television show, looking through old pictures. Now that's always fun. Going to church, out to lunch, doesn't have to be anything real expensive. Cooking together, family dinners, we don't do that as much anymore. Everybody's in such a hurry. Or simply sitting at the kitchen table and talking. Sometimes we get so busy trying to do something for somebody that we forget the value of just being with them. Number 4, don't forget who this person is. This one is important to me. An older adult isn't just the elderly lady, the patient, the client, mom who needs help. No, not at all. This is a person who has had an entire life before they needed assistance. Ask questions. What was your first job? What did you do for fun when you were 20? How did you meet your husband? What was your favorite vacation? What did your mother teach you? What is something you've done that you're really proud of? And then listen. Because older adults don't only need things from us, they have a lot to give us. They have wisdom, they have stories, knowledge, history, experience, and certainly perspectives. And sometimes a whole lot of humor. Number 5, companionship can help the family caregiver too. This is something families sometimes feel guilty talking about. Maybe you love your mother with everything within you, but you work, you have children, you have a spouse, you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe you live 30 minutes away, maybe you live an hour away, maybe you live 3 different states away. You cannot physically be there every minute. And family caregivers can become isolated. People sometimes stop going places because they're afraid to leave their loved one. Does this sound familiar? They stop seeing friends, they stop doing their hobbies, they stop taking care of themselves. That's why building a circle of support matters. Companion care isn't about replacing the family. It's about adding another person to the support, the circle of support. And that is why the name Two's Company Companion Care means something to me. Sometimes one person can change someone's day. One conversation, one visit, one ride, one walk, one cup of coffee, one person saying, "I'm here, tell me about your day." That's companionship. So here's today Caregiving Made Simple question. I want you to think about someone you love and ask yourself, are they simply living alone or are they becoming disconnected? Those aren't necessarily the same thing. And here's the challenge. Call one older person today, but don't just say, "How are you?" Because you know what they're probably going to say. "I'm fine." Ask something different. Ask, what is something you wish you got to do more often? And listen to what they say. It might tell you much more than "how are you" ever will. Now that's C for companionship. Tomorrow we're going to be moving to D. We touched on it a little bit yesterday, dignity. But tomorrow's question is a big one. How do you help someone without taking over their life? Because needing assistance should not automatically mean losing your voice. My name is Demita. I'm the owner and founder of Two's Company Companion Care and Servants Who Care. This is Caregiving Made Simple. This is for educational purposes only. Individual situations may vary, and this information is not a substitute for individualized professional or medical advice. And remember, care doesn't always have to be complicated. Sometimes care is simply showing up. And the disclaimer is this content is provided for general educational purposes only and is not intended to provide medical, nursing, legal, financial, or other professional advice. Individual needs and circumstances may vary. Always consult the appropriate qualified physician or professional regarding specific care, health, safety, or legal concerns. In an emergency, contact the appropriate emergency services. And as always, a mustard seed is all I need. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. I'm so excited. We're on C, tomorrow's D, dignity, and then the next day, E, which is the emergency kit. I'm so excited about that. There are so many cool things that you can put in there. It reminds me of going camping as a kid. I love going camping, getting outside in the outdoors. Have you been outside today? I know it's hot here. It's hot in Texas, but if it's not too hot where you are, go outside, look at the stars, get some fresh air, give yourself a hug. I appreciate you guys so very much for tuning in. Thank you so much for giving me a few moments of your day, a few minutes of your day, because I know time is very precious to each one of us. And we all have a full agenda. We all have families and things to do. So I don't take it lightly that you give me a couple minutes of your day. Please, if you have any questions, comments, list them down below. Subscribe to the channel. If any of this information was beneficial to you or you feel like someone you know could use it, please share it, because I will continue additional series after this one is completed. So again, thank you so much. God bless you and have a blessed day.